I'm Omar, the son in the Pops and Son TV show.
And I'm Adrian, the Pops in the Pops and Son TV show where real estate is our passion.
Have you ever dreamed about building your own home or utilizing the new City of Yes guidelines?
Yes. Well, join us for today's episodes where we will share pro tips on building your dream home and much, much more.
And we have another fantastic father and son team from the Gino Longo Architects.
Son, remember when you used to like those road trips that Pops used to take you on?
Yeah.
Well, I got exciting news. We're going on a road trip out of the studio to Throgs Neck. And guess for what?
Where are we going?
We're going to go to Throgs Neck to Gino Long Architects office.
Wow.
Yeah, they got two offices, one in Bronx and one in Queens, and they agreed to meet us in the Bronx, and they're going to share all the pro tips. And guess what else? They're a father and son team like us.
You know, I heard a lot of good things about them, like they've been in the business for almost 30 years.
Yeah, a long time. And they're going to share all their pro tips. So let's get the camera, put it in the truck, and let's take a trip to the Bronx.
Sounds good. I'll see you there.
Bye.
Welcome to the Pops and Son TV show. Today, we're excited to bring you a special guest, two guests this time, another father and son team, and we're really excited to show you what they have to say today.
That's right. So let's jump right in and start with our introduction. Please introduce yourself and thank you for coming. We'll start with Pops first.
I'm Gino Longo. I'm the principal of Gino Longo Architects. And
The son?
I'm also Gino Longo, although most people often refer to me as Junior just because you say Gino, we both look up and, we don't know who they're asking for. So I usually get the Junior more than I get Gino, but that's good. It's good for me.
Tell me, Gino Sr., I'll call you Pops from now on, Gino Sr. Tell us quickly to our viewers at home, how long have you been an architect in our lovely borough, and what boroughs do you cover, and what got you into architect? I think you told me earlier that your dad was in the construction side of it,
exactly.
and you didn't want the belt, you wanted a hard hat, the white shiny one. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so as you just mentioned, I did start in construction. Construction is what motivated me to get into architecture. The main inspiration was, opening up a set of blueprints and, being out in the field and building something from those blueprints, right? So it's like having a little model car and seeing the end result coming from something that is presented on paper. That was my inspiration. And I got into architecture. I took a 5-year degree in New York Tech in Old Westbury. I did a 3-year apprenticeship with an architect in the Bronx. That architect was Alfred Fantino, may he rest in peace. He was my mentor, and he's the one that, gave me all the experience that I have today. And he was basically a one-man show, and I got all my experience from him. Eventually, he retired, and he retired, which was only after I had gotten my license and started my own practice in Queens, because I reside in Queens. But for me, it was an easy commute to. Back then, it was the the opposite commute. Okay. Traveling to the Bronx versus trying to travel into Manhattan. So that's how I ended up coming into the Bronx. And eventually, once he retired, I already had my clientele established in Queens, and I kind of picked up his clientele in the Bronx. And that's the reason why, although I'm licensed for the state, my main service area to today is primarily Queens and Bronx. And we take on projects in Manhattan. We take on projects even, Staten Island, even outside. We've designed homes in Jamaica. We've designed homes in Ireland. But what that comes down to is our clients come in, they share a vision with us, they give us their wish list. We provide them with their plans, and then they work with their local architect. And the profession's been great. A lot of opportunity as an architect. And then I was blessed with my son as he was growing up. My first office was out of my home, so I started in my basement.
Wow.
So and as he grew up, he spent a lot of time, crawling around my office, when I'm there working late at night.
Wow.
And he would pick up paper and he'd start drawing, and he kind of got into it. And he also was there during the construction of the house, right? So he got to see the design for the home that we were living in get built.
I was just going to ask you, did you do a project with you and your father together?
So my first home that I purchased was a small 2-bedroom home, and as the family was growing, we needed to expand that home. So I had the plans approved. And of course, my father, thank God he was still alive at that point in time. And he was there, hands-on, kind of directing things while I was running to the building department. I'm working out of my home, building an extension for my growing family. He was born. He had the first bedroom. His sister was the motivation.
Okay.
Space.
Yeah, but he got to see everything. Even though he was, 4 years old by that time, because my daughter was born and the construction was still ongoing. And then from there, I got my first office in College Point, Queens. And while I was working in College Point, Queens, my Bronx clientele kept growing and growing. And, it was very demanding for me to have a local presence, which is why then I opened up the office here.
I think you came here, 2001 or 90?
Around 2001. I've been here over 20 years, for sure.
Yes, because I think I bought my house in 97, and shortly after I saw the shingle go up on Crosby.
Look, in this day and age after COVID, it is a lot easier to do, remote sessions with your clients, but still we like to have that personal connection with our clients. We like to have a storefront where the clients can still come in. Even though this office is open to the public without any appointment every Monday and Wednesday. But we're available all week long, by appointment. So, and now, only the beginning of this year, we relocated our Queens office to another office on Francis Lewis Boulevard. So we expanded now to 2,000 square feet. We have a staff of 10 people.
Wow.
And that same staff is the staff that kind of circulates on the 2 days that we're open here. They'll put some time in over here. And depending upon the availability, a lot of times Junior's running the Bronx office. He spends a lot of time in the Bronx. And that's pretty much, where we are today.
And it's that hands-on, that you like to be a hands-on person that allows your business to flourish like this, that you're expanding, but you're still providing that individual care for every client that you get.
I personally visit every single job site, especially that applies really for an alteration, right? Every alteration type of a job, I personally visit the site and do the first walkthrough and personal introduction with the client. And then from there, we come in, we measure it up, and it gets transferred over to the staff, and they run with it. With the new construction, my son and I will do, a client will call in and say, I have a property, 50 by 100 property, it's R5 zoning, what can I do? And we'll do a quick zoning analysis for them. That's off the top of my head. That's 2-3 family, semi-attached, 17 footers all day long. But our clients will call us up, we'll do a zoning study for them. And a lot of the new construction, we don't get to really see the site until we get the plans approved. Because you have Google Map view these days, you have aerial views. You're dealing with a blank site.
Sure. No, I see that. And, working together, obviously, things come in handy, right? You were at once doing it by yourself. Now you have your son to help you. Do you guys find that you're complementing each other? What's one way that, you're thankful for your son, or you're thankful for your father, the things that he's taught you? Do you guys feel like you're a good team?
Oh, yeah. I would not be where I am today without my father. There's, no doubt about it. I mean, like you said, I was involved pretty early on. I grew up in and around the office. I used to come in and trace over, plans that were, no longer needed. And he also got me involved working in the office, like really drawing plans early on. I started really right out of high school, and I worked all the way through college with him. And so, having that early intervention from him really helped me excel and gave me a jump start in my career. Whereas, many people, they don't have that opportunity. They really don't. I mean, how fortunate am I to have my father as an architect and to be there to teach me every step of the way. I mean, I'm forever grateful.
Yeah, no, I know that feeling. I mean, I think my dad can attest to that. Like, I feel I've learned real estate through him, throughout college. I've seen him do it. I was able to like help him, and then slowly but surely, I'm making my way into the field myself. So it's just, it's a beautiful thing to see you guys working so strongly together.
But he's a quick learner, and I think he learns too well. He learns so well.
No, it's not easy though. There are moments that you realize that maybe you spoke in a different tone, or it's your employee relationship, but then you're a father and son, and so there are some times where we'll have dinner, and then I'll say, listen, the reason I was a little testy is because the client is there, and our job is to protect the client at all costs. So we do our best, but we're only as good, and you're going to attest to me, as the cup that we're filling.
Exactly.
Because one thing you have to be is humble. You need to be willing to, take the pain, learn, and it's so embarrassing to do something when you don't know. And we all go through it. Even this show that the Bronx Net has allowed us this platform to use. We're not. I'm a salesman. And my son is studying psychology in Hunter College, and he started his career with me, doing phone calls like you. I remember in 2020, I came here in 2021, and you were answering the phones. You were working in college, doing your stuff, and I'm glad that 4 years later, you were wise enough and with that to use your humbleness and to stick it out with your dad. And it's going to get easier and better and greater because I could see the fruit don't fall far. Gino has always answered every call I've put in. My first time in real estate, he didn't know. He opened up the door, gave me his services, treated me like a client, emailed me my work that I needed, what we can build. So Gino is a local yokel, what I call, and he's in the community. We're going to get all his information so you can reach him direct. We're going to get his addresses, but it's going to be on our YouTube link like we always do. But I want to also ask Gino, because a lot of people have been emailing me because they know we're going to do with an architect. So everybody wants me to talk to them, but they don't want to pay. They don't want to pay me $400 an hour or something, so they gave me the questions. Everybody is talking about ADUs. So I'll let you explain, our viewers at home, because this is part of the City of Yes, which is this nice flyer that I'm going to have a link at the city website, DOB, and it's the City of Yes. And a lot of small landlords like me, like Gino, they want to make extra money, Gino, and they got availabilities of doing these ADUs. So let's first start off. What is an ADU?
Well, an ADU is an ancillary dwelling unit. Okay? And I know that landowners, developers, their eyes light up. Okay?
Right now.
Squeeze in a few more apartments. This is going to be more income for me.
You get the bonus.
It's true to some extent, but it's really not what the intent is of the ancillary dwelling units. One of the main criteria for having an ancillary dwelling unit is that you must be residing, and that must be your primary residence. So if you own a property under an LLC or under a business name, you will not be permitted to establish an ADU.
That's a pro tip, and you guys got to understand that, because you hear a lot of this rah, 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 and it is for people that are living in it.
Exactly. Now, to what extent will the Department of Buildings look into the legality of your residence being established there? We do not know. As far as I know right now, all they're looking at is to see that there's a deed, with a personal name. Okay, so that is the first criteria. Now, if you meet other criteria, which one of the first ones is that ADU is permitted in a cellar or a basement. Okay, and normally a cellar was always off limits because it's a hazard because you're more than half in the ground. Now they've opened. I mean, I don't know how much information you want, but it could be just one whole show just on that.
I did have some questions about. There are some hurdles you have to deal with. Not just the regulatory, but like design hurdles. You want to go in a little bit about that? Just a couple examples. I'm sure you could go on.
Yeah. So one of the main design hurdles is tell about the two family if they want an ADU.
Yeah. So one of the main hurdles is that if you have a legal 2-family already, and you add the ancillary dwelling unit to that building, you're now a 3-family, and as such, you're now considered a multiple dwelling. Now with the multiple dwelling, there's a whole other kind of book that opens.
I think they want to do a HPD registration eventually on these 3 families, like the 4 families.
You will.
Eventually.
100%.
And so the main thing is that if you have a 2-family that's wood frame, so the exterior walls are constructed of wood studs, you would not be permitted to have that ADU added to your home.
Mm-hmm.
As a multiple dwelling, you're only permitted to have that as non-combustible construction. So most of these older homes, brick, right? Solid brick exterior walls. And the second hurdle, which is really going to be the challenge, is the accessibility. So as a multiple dwelling, you also have to provide handicap accessibility. And so now if we're, adding this ADU, how do we provide that accessibility to, one of the units in the building? So that's really going to be our main challenge in a lot of these projects.
And full sprinkler system throughout the entire building.
And the sprinkler system.
So it's a whole new can of worms. Or like you might start out with a 1-family or 2-family, and then you want to add in this extra unit, but then you walk into a whole other world.
Yeah, the 2-family is definitely more of a multifaceted,
exactly.
It's a open book. The 1-family with the ADU, it's a little bit more simple and straightforward.
I gotta ask a question, and I want to change gears because I want to. It's a father and son thing here, and I gotta ask what compliments, because I know what compliments my son that compliments me. What compliments you guys each other that you can feed off each other? Like what does he bring that compliments you, and what does he bring that compliments you? I'll start off with you first.
The number one thing is his energy, right? The energy rubs off. And when I'm at that age where
I didn't want to come here. He was like, "Come on, Dad, let's get dressed."
I want to take it easy. I want to start slowing down, But his energy and his motivation inspires me to keep going because I know, the more I keep going, the better it's going to be for him and his future. And and again, I'm very proud of him that he accepted architecture as his career. There are many of my colleagues. I can tell you, we just aired on Channel 12, and a lot of my colleagues saw that run, and they're like, "So you must be so proud." I couldn't convince my son or my daughter to get into architecture, and the ones that did, it was almost like you're dragging them through the street, kicking and screaming. They're like, "This is not what I signed up for. This building department,
No, we're gonna yeah. And sorry to cut you off. We're gonna discuss why they put the building department at the most unreasonable spot. But before we do that, what compliments? The same question to you.
So I mean, like we had discussed, I mean, we're constantly dealing with these ever evolving codes, building code, energy code. So I think my ability to kind of question things in speaking with him, and his ability and with his 30 plus years of experience to say yes or no also evolves. And sometimes by me questioning things, we may find something in the code that maybe we weren't aware of that was recently put in.
Oh, the old Yoda learns something. You teach old Yoda something. He does that every now and then.
And look, and we bounce it off of each other.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah,
look. I'm
constantly
reading
bouncing
this.
back and
I'm
forth.
reading this. You know, oh, we could do this. And we're like, no, I don't think so. And then it'll go back and forth.
I find that to be one of the best things because when we're entrepreneurs, salesmen, and you're by yourself, and when you have somebody, you usually throw it up with your wife, but they don't understand and they're home busy. You don't. But with your son, me and him will play out scenarios, and we'll correct each other. I would say I would think I was a little too hard on the client. Maybe I spoke wrong because. So it's very good. I find that to be useful. You have a question you want to follow up with?
Sure, yeah. I was wondering, like, being that you guys work so closely together, you must have some disagreements, right, over like a way things should go or how to implement something. Do you find yourself having these kinds of disagreements?
It doesn't happen
It
very
doesn't
often.
happen very often.
But when it does, we usually always find
It's
a middle
short and
ground
sweet.
somewhere. Yeah.
I think that speaks to your work ethic. I mean, it shows that you guys are doing like a really good job.
I mean, if you had to ask me when was the last time, I mean, just say it. I mean, when was the last time like that? Get the hell out of my face or something.
That's rare.
Yeah,
I think
never happens.
when it's a close relationship, you iron it out, you speak, and it doesn't get out of hand because the emotions are strong. It's not just I don't like him. It gets stronger than that. Why did he talk to me like that or things like that? Not that it happens much with us because we do air them out, and you don't need to get to those levels.
Yeah.
I do want to get back to business because that's what the people want. You guys are fabulous. I hear this in the industry all the time. You want to build, use Gino Longo because building department, for some reason, they got the fairy dust and nothing is questioned. No. But building relationships. Do you think, I'm a firm believer in that with my son. I build as much relationship as I can with everyone. How does that help you to get people's projects and their dreams done without costing them money? Because time is money, Gino.
So, even though there are, thousands and thousands of applications that are filed throughout New York City each year, the building department plan examiners, they see our name. They've known my name has been there for over 30 years.
Wow.
They know us. They know me on a personal level, and you begin to get some kind of trust with the plan examiner. They get to know you. They get to say, okay, you know what? The impression I get, the respect that I have from the building department, they look at me saying, Gino Longo, he kind of knows what he's doing. This is not some fly-by-night guy.
Right.
We don't have to scrutinize or his plans are coming in here. They're well organized. They represent the project very well. It's not like there are a lot of fly-by-night architects out there. A lot of people know how many projects we get. People
Corrections
can take over, supersede for another architect. So when the building department sees that you're a straight shooter, that is key.
Yep.
Okay, you cannot go into the building department and try to pull their wool over their eye or try to be deceitful. And the unfortunate thing, and I have to honestly tell you, sometimes it almost breaks my heart because there could be an honest mistake. And when the building department sees a mistake, they come after you. It doesn't make a difference.
If it was honest,
they come after you. And we're not talking about my mistake. We're talking about it could be the plan examiner overlooked something. So if something is not right, they don't care who you are. You have to fix the problem. And fortunately, when those problems have arisen, we know how to stand behind our client, and we know how to work things out with the building department to find the right legal solution. And that's what we do. And the building department respects you for that. Even though they say, okay, this one project, something got overlooked and we have a problem here, and what are we going to do? And I'll come up with that solution. I satisfy the building department and I make my client happy. They're not losing the project. Maybe, it cost them a little bit of delay at the end or something like that. So that's part of our business. So having your name and the reputation of the building department goes a long way.
What's one of the most common mistakes you see inexperienced developers do? I'll let you answer that.
That's a very good question, actually.
It's an easy answer.
It's money.
Yeah.
Hire an
Oh.
architect that doesn't have the right experience.
Well, or
biggest
I mean,
mistake.
even
Well, that would be
worse-
money because they was shortchanging their pockets, I
even
guess.
worse- Even worse so, okay, if we're going to go down that avenue, hiring the wrong builder is also,
Okay.
because you can have the best architect, but if you hire a builder who doesn't have the experience or maybe took on one too many jobs, it can also be, a detriment to the job.
Excellent answer. And that all really leads to money because you're cutting corners, and that's when you make mistakes. Before we leave, we got 2 more questions I want to ask, but please, Gino, give us your 2 addresses, one in the Bronx, one in Queens, and your telephone number to the office, please.
So the Bronx office is located at 1345 Crosby Avenue, and the Queens office is located at 2455 Francis Lewis Boulevard, and that is in Whitestone. And
A telephone
we have-
number to one of the offices in the Bronx?
We have one phone number. We have a automated phone system with one primary number, which is the 718-445-5663 phone number. And once you dial that number, you're automatically in touch with both offices and everyone working, available that day.
Yeah. We also, we have our website, ginolongo.com. We're on Instagram, Longo AIA, and we're also on TikTok.
Good.
So-
Right, they got to get the footprint out there, the
Mhm.
digital footprint.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun. After the projects are done, you get all those nice, crisp final shots.
That's his job. We are that architect that you can call upon any time, regardless of what the problem is, whether it's with the building department, whether there's a problem with your home, you just purchased a home and you see problems. So we provide that community service. And you call our office, first of all, the main thing to know is whether you're someone calling from the community, homeowner, you call my office, it's always a free consultation. We will get back to you. If it's within 3 days, it's a long time. We do our best to get back to you immediately, and we make ourselves available. Obviously, once we start putting time into it, if there's a consultation fee, we do have to bill for our time. But initially, it's always a free consultation. And you can even look at some of our reviews. I've had a client call me up one time who could not get a letter of no objection for his home.
That's right.
Okay, they were insisting. This is a one family. Okay, I went on Google Maps. I looked up the gentleman's home. I said, "Your home is the same as the rest of the homes on the block." So, and they're all listed as 2 family. So I directed him. I said, obviously, you could hire us. I could go to the building department, do a research for you, but you can go to the building department on your own. Go pull the records for those other homes, because back in the day, there would be like a master plan. Right? Today, you have to file an individual plan for each location. Back then, you would provide one plan for the first lot, and then you just copy that plan for the rest of the. And he went to the building department, and he found that plan, and he found the certificate of occupancy for the two family on his own.
Amazing.
I saved him
Right,
$10,000
$10,000.
just on a free phone call.
Right, exactly.
Wow, what an amazing trip.
What a great episode. I really love to hear what they had to say.
Yeah, and that came from the viewers at home who emailed a question to us.
That's right. Viewers just like yourself have been and still can send messages to the Pops and Son TV show at gmail.com.
Or they can go directly to our website, thepopsandsontvshow.com, and they can see some content from behind the scenes, and they can also email us and get a hold of us that way.
Absolutely. It's because of your ideas that put us in this path. I hope to see more great ideas from you guys in the future.
That's right. So keep it coming in. Thank you for watching the Pops and Son TV show, where real estate is our passion.
Thank you for watching.